Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Power of TrustYou, Navigating a Better Hotel Experience. My name is Valerie. I'm the VP of Marketing here at TrustYou, and I'm very excited to welcome you all to this brand new event series that we started in 2021 here at TrustYou, with a goal of guiding our users through the new updates that are available within the platform. So we still have quite a few people logging into the webinar today, just a couple minutes past the hour. So I'll just start with some housekeeping items before we jump into the presentation. We do have you all muted on the line, as we do have over 100 attendees logging in right now, but we do want this session to be interactive. So if you have questions, there is a questions section of the control panel, so you can start inputting your questions there, and you'll see in the agenda that we will have a time to go through those questions from the audience. You can also chat us anything, any comments, questions, shout outs, anything like that. You can also use the chat box in the GoToWebinar control panel as well. And then also a reminder, this went out in the last email reminder that we sent out, but for those of you that are on the line still at the end of the webinar today, we want to thank you for joining the live session. Hopefully you'll get a lot of great content out of it, get your questions answered, everything like that. But an extra incentive is that you'll receive a $50 Amazon gift card. So be sure to stay till the end so that you can qualify and find out if you're the lucky winner for that. But without further ado, I'll jump into our agenda today and kind of take you through what you can expect for about the next 45 to 60 minutes. So in just a few moments, I'll pass things over to TrustYou CEO and co-founder, Benjamin Jost. He will be taking us through the history of TrustYou and how our mission to help hoteliers has evolved and changed. And then we're going to hear from TrustYou's product manager, Mikel Fernandez. He was responsible for the new navigation of the TrustYou platform that was launched yesterday on June 14th. So you might have already logged into the TrustYou product and seen some of the features. He's going to talk a little bit about why we made the changes we did and how we hope it will enable our TrustYou users to more seamlessly use the platform in the future. And then our Senior Client Success Manager, Vanessa Martinez, will host a platform deep dive and show you all the new and updated features that we've added to the TrustYou platform. We expect quite a few questions after this part of the presentation, as we're actually going to be in the platform demoing the different sections. So we'll move into Q&A from the audience immediately after that. So again, please add your questions into the questions box. And finally, at the end of today's presentation, we'll take a look into the future with our VP of Product, Rachel Dowling, and she's going to show us a few of the new features that we can expect in just a few short months. So I will now take this opportunity to pass things over to Ben to talk about a look back and a look forward.
Thank you, Valerie. Very kind of you. So yeah, I want to A, say hello to everyone, and B, I would want to start talking a little bit at the beginning about the TrustYou mission, which has evolved over the past, I just checked, 13 years now we're in business. So when we started, we actually said, hey, let's make feedback simpler, more productive for everyone involved, for hotels, for travelers, etc. We, traditionally, the guys who know us for the last 13 years know that we actually were the ones inventing the space of reputation management. So we were one of the very, very first movers and coined this reputation management term in the hospitality industry. And it was always about feedback, always about reviews, and always about post-stay surveys, etc. In the last 1 year, more and more communication became front and center. And communication is similar to feedback, but it's different. And there are different things in the product. There are different how you use it as a customer, as a partner in our platform. So we, for the first time, actually changed the mission statement of the company to embed communication in our mission. And now we want to make feedback and communication simpler and more productive for you all out there. I want to guide you through how we evolved and why communication is now becoming a holistic part of our guest experience platform. So traditionally, when you look at the guest journey, I know there are more complex things how you can look at the guest journey, but if you boil it down to just 3 steps, you have the booking phase, you book some hotel out there, some accommodation. Then you as the guest have the experience phase. So you're on site, you experience the property, you experience your stay, and then you leave and you basically have the post-stay phase. You left, you maybe write a review or so, and then you enter later on into the booking phase again. So this is kind of the 3 steps that we look when we look at the guest journey where we want to play as TrustYou. So as I just mentioned, the number one thing we did when we started the company in 2008 is in the post-stay phase. Why post-stay phase? Because in the post-stay phase, we looked at the reviews out there. That's where we started. Like, we looked at TripAdvisor reviews, Booking.com reviews, because we thought, hey, if you could understand, you as a hotelier, you could understand all of the reviews out there without reading all of them, but we would do the work for you. We would analyze all of that. We would give them all of you in an inbox so you can respond to it. We could slice and dice the information for your entire portfolio of hotels. You could learn from the guest feedback and build a better experience later on, fix the problems strategically, and then next time the guest comes, you have a better experience for that guest. And then what happened is that hoteliers actually approached us and said, hey, that's cool, we use your product, reviews. Could you add also our reviews we captured via that back in the days, pen and paper most of the time. And we can digitize it, we can write it in an Excel sheet, and you can upload it in your platform. And that's what they called the post-stay survey. So what we did, we developed this post-stay survey in a digital way where we can control the data format. We send out the post-stay survey on behalf of you to the guest. They fill out a survey, which is basically from a data perspective, nothing else than a review. And we can now look at the review space and the post-stay survey space together, and they all become feedback that the guest gives us or you after their stay. Then as a next step, we said, okay, that's great content. You can do all of the great analysis things there, but you can also use it for the booking phase. Why not replicate all the great things that Booking.com, Google, TripAdvisor, and all these guys are doing, which is provide transparency on the quality of that hotel? Because without that quality transparency, which is given by reviews, no one out there basically is booking anymore. So you want to know not only the price, the location, but also the quality of the hotel, the quality expressed by review content. So we said, hey, okay, cool. We have basically all of that content in-house, right? We understand everything. We have sliced and diced the data. We can actually give you as a hotelier all of that content use and plug it on your website, be it with the guest surveys that you collected by us. And so there are full text reviews you can put in there, but also we have widgets and meta reviews and badges and all those kind of things that you can put on there, which the customer sees, loves, reads, and then decides to book because they have confidence in what they can expect. So that was the review content piece that we provided out there. We also expanded that to other platforms, like Google is now using our aggregated review content piece, and your post-stay survey become part of that. So if you're a partner and using the post-stay survey, they're part of the review, meta review, which is posted on Google, and the travelers read it. They see more content. It's a better visibility for your hotel, often better rankings, and then that will create you more bookings on these third-party platforms that use the meta review as well. So booking check, post-stay check, and then the last thing we did is, we acquired a company called Checkmate a couple of years back, and then we basically was a stepchild of the company for a while, and then suddenly more and more hotels have been using it and asking for this and saying, well, we want to actually know what the customers think about their experience, not only when they left the hotel, but when they are still on site, when they're still with us. And that's where we introduced the live survey, saying, okay, well, we plug a live survey in the Wi-Fi. We give you a QR code that you can put in somewhere at the reception or in the room or wherever you want. You can send out the survey via SMS during their stay or just before their arrival and saying, hey, here, check in with us and let us know how things are going with this live survey. What happened two things. One is we've seen an explosion of content there. In average, we see 4 times more surveys being provided with a live survey when the guest is still on site than with the post-day survey. So guests love the opportunity to give you feedback when they're still there, and it gives you the opportunity to fix problems when they occur, and then later on get a positive feedback post-day. So it's a great way of interacting with your guest. But that's still feedback, right? Now, once you provide this possibility to your guests to say, hey, give us a feedback, you're still here, how are things going? You not only get a static one-time feedback, but the guest expects a response right away, and they might even respond back to you. And this is not a feedback anymore like traditionally we know what a feedback is, but it's becoming a communication. It's becoming a back and forth interaction between you as the hotelier and the staff and the guest. So that's why communication actually became so more important and front and center. And today we're offering so many ways of starting a communication with the guest, be it automatic outreach before the arrival that we can send via SMS, be it you could replace every phone now in every room with a QR code and say, hey, do you want to chat with us? Use your preferred channel, use SMS or WhatsApp or WeChat or the integrated communication channel on the browser, and you can start a communication with us. And for you as a hotelier, you see whatever channel they use, you see one inbox, like you see the inbox for reviews, where you have Booking.com, TripAdvisor, Google. Now you have the inbox for live communication, live chat with your guests, where whatever channel they use, it all comes in your inbox, and from there you can reply. So then the hotel said, that's great, but now I want to create this task because the guest just asked me for 2 towels, and I want to send this task to my colleague, to my staff member, to bring this guest 2 towels. How do I do this now? And that's where we now started this team chat, which is available today in the platform, in the beta version. It's available in the app store. So you download the TrustYou app and you can have it there. You just have to ask our team to get it started for you. It's for free to test it out. So engage with us, engage with your key account managers or service team members, and we'll give you the free opportunity to use this team chat. Think of it as the WhatsApp group of steroids. So we really want to have a seamless integrated platform where all of the communication with your guests and staff can happen, but also within the staff to staff as well. And now we have this entire circle of the guest experience. And I think down the road in the future, we can do many, many more cool things with correlations of the data and see where the feedback is giving and where you need to fix things and how you can react in real time. And this is an exciting, exciting journey. And that's why the key pillar of today's presentation is this new navigation. And Mikael will now guide you through this new navigation, which makes it much, much easier for you to look at this holistic view of that guest journey. So Mikael, over to you.
Thank you, Ben. And hello, everyone. I'm very happy to introduce you today the new look and feel of the TrustYou platform. As Ben mentioned, for the last 13 years, TrustYou has been helping companies to win through the power of listening. Since the beginning, we understood the potential of receiving feedback. When companies listen to this feedback, they earn trust, make better decisions, and ultimately succeed. We are committed to build a platform that makes listening to feedback easy, powerful, and actionable. But during all these years, the needs from our users have changed, in the same way that the needs from the guests have changed. So we have been working hand in hand with hoteliers to be ready for those changes. We started a long time ago where the travel journey starts, before the booking is done, and our goal is to convince the guest that they are taking the correct decisions booking that specific hotel. We provide our users with the tool to help them to achieve this goal, the review marketing solution. Once we had this huge amount of information, we realized there were a lot of opportunities on it. We unlocked the potential of the guest feedback as a tool to listen and respond to the guest needs understand all reviews across the web, and make better business decisions with another tool, the reputation management solution. Then we saw that over the time, the amount of real-time communication between hotel and guest grew with new channels like on-site surveys and SMS messaging. So we have reacted by providing new tools, the live survey and the live messaging solution. Finally, we saw the importance of communication, not only with the guest, but also internally within the hotel staff. So we worked to deliver a new tool, the team chat solution. We ended up with a platform, but with many different tools. It was great to be able to provide our customers with many solutions, but it was a burden for them to manage all the solutions together. With this in mind, we aim to move away from isolated toolsets and move towards a single platform that guides users easily through the whole guest journey. We aim to move from different user experience to one standard way of working. And finally, we aim to move from complex solution to an easy and friendly user experience. With this goal, we want to present to you today the new TrustYou platform, where we have converted a group of successful and awarded individual tools into a single platform. Our all UI provided tools in silos, making it difficult for the users to understand what was beyond their workspace. Users were working focused on their duties, without having the possibility to know if there are other tools available that would help them to deliver their work in a different way. We had a multi-hierarchy UI, where users need to go deep to reach the correct tool. And we had different look and feels depending on the tool, what increased the cognitive overload for the users. In the new platform, all the different tools are located in a common place. So despite the situation you need to solve, you know where you can expect to find the correct tool to use. Guests are the first, so we have prioritized responding to them through our inboxes, both of them for real-time communication and for online and survey reviews. First-class position in the platform allows users to easily achieve their main objective, to respond to guests and satisfy their demands. And now we're going to show you how the needs of the guests through the whole journey can be satisfied with the new TrustYou platform with my colleague Vanessa. So Vanessa, over to you.
Thank you, Mikel, for that introduction. And to Ben for starting us off with that great explanation as well. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Vanessa Martinez, and I am the Senior Client Success Manager with TrustYou. I'm going to be taking us really into the platform itself from the perspective of a hotelier, as both Ben and Mikel mentioned, through that entirety of the guest journey, starting with pre-stay. So we're currently within the guest chat tab now, and you are able to see a pre-stay outreach that we have sent to this particular guest. That includes a pre-stay survey. So if we take a look at this in a little bit more detail, you're able to see the details of the pre-stay survey that will load here on the right-hand side. And this is really you sending anything that might be helpful for yourself and your colleagues to know before this guest arrives. And let me give this another shot here. It can be anything from the time of their arrival, there we go, how they'll be arriving, room preferences, in-room preferences, anything, again, that would be beneficial for you to know before they step on site with you. On the notes on the customer here, you can see that you're able to add anything that stands out in that communication. So for example, you can see an extra pillow was already requested, high floor in a non-smoking room, and this guest also has an allergy that they want us to be aware of. So this section here is really good for not only when I'm communicating with the guest, but my colleagues as well. Beyond that pre-stay, we can then send a very simple on-site outreach, welcoming them to the property and reminding them that if they should need anything during their stay, whether it be something that is an issue in their room or just a simple request, that they can reach out via this communication at any time. Taking it a step further, we do have an example of a bit of problem resolution that we can fix, again, while that guest is still on site. In this case, they're saying that their air conditioning unit isn't working properly, and we are able not only to communicate with the guests directly about this matter, but also internally with our colleagues as well. So you can see a few internal notes here, one of which is tagged in an entire team, and another that is tagging in individual colleagues. And Ben mentioned this at the end of his part of the presentation, as well as the team chat functionality. So you can see not only in the conversation itself, but within the team chat up here, anything that has to do with, as this example is showing, maintenance, you're able to see all past conversations. You can even see previously another guest had reported that a lamp in their room was missing a light bulb, but you're able to see all of the groups that you would be a part of, that you can communicate with as a whole, but also individual colleagues as well, again, to ensure that the guest is getting not only an efficient response, but that their issue or their request is met in a timely fashion as well. So if we continue down, you can see once we've communicated internally that the air conditioning unit has been fixed, you can see that the guest has also confirmed this on their own as well. And just so we're ensuring, again, that we are collecting that feedback and having those multiple touch points throughout their stay, we're also going to be able to send an on-site or mid-stay survey. You can see here their score was, relatively good. They do mention the minor issue of the air conditioning unit, but that it was able to be resolved in a timely fashion. Just to double check though, we are also able to send another touch point, just ensuring that that unit is still working for them properly. They confirm that it is, and we can end the guest journey here, at least in this capacity, with another outreach for a post-stay survey. And again, you'd be able to solicit any feedback that you're looking for, whether that be scores or even just overall text here that you'll see. So now that we've seen this in sort of a real life example, how do we go about setting up all of these different touch points from the platform perspective with the new navigation? So the first thing I do want to touch on is the outreaches, and you're able to see here all of the touch points that I mentioned previously. So that pre-arrival survey, the on-site and welcome messages, the post-stay survey. Really, this is the best way for you to be able to segment your guests and reach them accordingly. So again, if you have people that you would like to reach the day before their arrival, those who are in-house, those who have checked out, you're able to set up those segments and outreaches accordingly. And as your guest data comes in, those would be able to filter and send out as it's received. Touching a little bit more on the on-site experience and how we can send out that specific survey, there are a few additional ways to do this beyond just the outreach. So the first here is a public link. So if you are already sending out something mid-stay, you're more than welcome to just take this public link, hyperlink it into an existing communication, send that out and solicit feedback in that regard. The second here is going to be QR code. So Ben also mentioned this in his portion of the presentation, but you're able to download this QR code, place it wherever in the property you think would be best. Again, it can be front desk, it can be in the room, and they can take that mid-stay or on-site survey via QR code. Last but certainly not least is going to be when they are actually logging into your Wi-Fi. So with the assistance of your internet provider, you're able to set this up, and we can have a little bit of a visual example here at the bottom as well. Once they attempt to connect to your internet, they will be automatically rerouted to that survey, and they would go ahead and give you whatever feedback you're soliciting. Generally, in this case, it'll be short and sweet. Once they submit it, they'll be successfully added to the internet. So a few different options here as far as the on-site or mid-stay capacity. For those of you who do already have our live product or are familiar with it, your integrations are still going to be found here under setup. However, one name change that I'd like to point out is with guests. This was previously named customers. So again, for those of you who do have our live product, this is where you'll be able to find that same data just under a different name here. But next, we want to talk about the surveys themselves. So if I do come in here and I'm able to see the surveys that I currently have set up, we have the pre-stay, on-site, and post-stay information here. You're able to see the data that it's collecting down here within the tiles, but you can also see your surveys themselves in case you need to change any of the questions, any of the details, the look and feel. This is exactly where you'll be able to manage all of that within the surveys tab here. But from a post-day capacity, for those of you who have a single property account, you're used to having your dashboard right here anyway. This will be moved under reports. If we take a specific look as the surveys, as we were mentioning, that you can see here under the reviews breakdown, this is a collection of all of those third-party reviews, but also your TrustYou survey, so your internal survey that you're sending out. This is a quick view of the percentage of which that particular source is contributing to your overall percentage. And we do love the scores, we love the quantitative data, but the qualitative is also just as important. So if I take a look here quickly, I'm able to open up this review in detail. And beyond just the scoring that we saw previously, we're also able to see that qualitative with the sentiment analysis. You can see both the positive and the negative here, and in which categories they are being associated with. Moving up a bit into reviews, we are able to not only, again, view the data that has come in, but this is also a very easy way to manage and respond to these reviews. Again, you're able to see the sentiment breakdown here, all of the answers that have been submitted for the survey. But you can also see here a small icon, and this would indicate that this particular review has an open task. So again, if we're sticking with that air conditioning unit example, we want to ensure that that air conditioning unit is in fact fixed 100% before the next guest checks in and has a chance to also have an issue with it. So we want to make sure that we have set something up accordingly and internally. So you can see that task here. But also in more detail, you're able to see it within the tasks tab as well. And what's great about this is this gives you a little bit more insight and filter options. So you're able to filter by an assignee, by a status, so whether open, close, or overdue, overdue statuses. And you can always export these into a report at any point as well. But taking that even a step further is based on that task, you're also able to create a goal based on this. So in the example, we've done air conditioning, but this might be an overarching goal for you to set up as far as maintenance. So ensuring that the maintenance scores for that particular team or representative of that team are tracking all of the reviews and the sentiment analysis that are being assigned to that particular goal are being tracked and are achieving at least the minimum of what you're looking for as far as scoring. So we've gone through a much more seamless experience here. We're not clicking into the individual products as Mikel's example indicated with the different tools. This is all a lot easier to kind of sift through as you're going through it. But a few things I do want to point out as far as what has changed from the old navigation as far as location. So previously we used to have our help and settings options up here in the upper right. These have now moved down to the bottom left. So if you click the small question mark, you're able to see all of the help resources down here. And same for settings. So if you're currently utilizing our analytics and or survey product, you'll find your settings within post day. If you are using messaging, you will find your settings within live. I am currently in a view that has a full platform experience. So if you do not, you will be able to only see what your particular access is. But going back to the upper right here, you'll still find your reporting here with exports. I touched on this a little bit already, but team chat, this is where now this will reside. And notifications will still appear in the upper right. To log out, however, will be in the upper left now, so over here in the opposite corner. And last but certainly not least, we have an upgrade option as well. I mentioned if you don't have access to the full platform, you will only see what you do have access to. However, if you are interested in expanding your access into the full platform experience, you're able to take a look at the upgrade page, see what your other options are, and submit for one of our wonderful colleagues to reach out to you and chat about that full experience to make sure that you really are utilizing this, your best operational success, and that we're able to assist you in doing that. But with that being said, I will now open it up for Q&A, as I know this will probably be the most questioned part of the presentation today.
Yes, thank you, Vanessa. So I just chatted to the audience during the last part of your presentation to start submitting questions because we can take them now. So we've already had a couple of them roll through. So just going through them individually. And apologies ahead of time if we can't get to all of your questions, or if they are a bit specific, we will have a key account manager or a member of our service team reach out to you. But here's a really good question to start out with. When are these changes going to be launched? So these are actually now launched in your TrustYou product as of yesterday. So if you're logging into your product now, you should see all of the changes already active. You can, if it gets a little bit confusing, you can toggle back to the old version and kind of find what you need to be there. If you're just kind of logging into TrustYou and want to get in and out quickly, you can do that. But if you have some time, you can use this new user experience as of today. So you all are some of the first to preview it on the webinar. All right, and then we also have a question. Vanessa, I'll pass this over to you. Can the pre-stay surveys be integrated with the PMS?
Absolutely. So with getting that guest data to obviously send these pre-stay surveys, it can absolutely be integrated with your PMS. If you have questions on this, I recommend you reach out to our service team or your key account manager if you have one. But yes, so with the integrations tab here, this is where we'd be able to set up that connection with your PMS.
Great. Right, and then we have another question related to surveys. Are surveys HTML based or are they basic plug and play? So I think we kind of have a version of both. We have a version of survey that you can use just right off the bat. It's already ready for you, but there are customizable sections. Vanessa, do you want to expand on that maybe a little bit better?
Yep, you got it. So within, and I can sort of expand on one of these here if it'll let me. There are a few different options as far as formatting for your surveys. Again, there are some basic things that we'll be able to go into. But with this, you're able to see a few options as far as setup. We have advanced setup as far as questions, the custom questions that are being asked. We have hyperlinks sometimes that go into the messages, so the messages that guests are seeing before they take the survey and even after. So really, it can be adaptable to whatever your needs are in either pre-stay, on-site, or that post-stay capacity.
Perfect. All right, and then we have kind of a more specific question from a hotelier that they also have a convention center at their hotel. So we will definitely reach out to you and let you know. They want to be able to collect clients' opinions and feedback from the events that they're having on site. So it should be possible. But do you want to expand maybe, Vanessa, on some of the additional survey types that we have beyond just post-stay?
Yes, so that's a great question. We do have quite a few survey options, actually. So we do touch on the main, which is that pre-stay, on-site, post-stay, but you can see here we also have food and beverage, MICE, which would be anything from, like, as you mentioned, your convention center. It could be events of any capacity if you have a lot of weddings, if you have a lot of corporate events. We also have attraction as well as wellness and spa surveys as well.
Perfect. All right, that seems to be wrapping up some of the questions. We can get back to more of them at the end, so please feel free to add in additional questions if you have them. But for now, we can go ahead and continue the presentation on the slides. So thank you, Vanessa, for sharing your screen. I'll take it back over here. And I will introduce Rachel Dowling, our VP of Product, who's going to take us through what's next at TrustYou.
Cool. Thank you very much, everyone, for the great demo and walkthrough of the new navigation. Looks really nice. So I'm excited to introduce a few features which will be coming your way in the next few months. So we will be having another product marketing event on September 2nd. So, mark your calendars. We'll send out invites as we get closer to that date, and we'll show you some of the things that I'm about to demo or preview right now, in addition to additional features that are coming associated with these. So if you could click to the next slide. Right, so one of the features that we're really excited to launch is called Enterprise Level Direct Response. And this is for chains or hotels that are overseeing several properties. And in this way, you'll be able to manage your responses for Google and Booking.com directly from within the platform for multiple properties. So especially for property management groups or chains or brands, this is for you. So we're excited to launch that, and yeah, that'll be coming up soon in the September launch. And the next slide, please. We have some additional statistics and tiles that will represent analytics for some of the new features within Live and Team Experience that Vanessa demoed. So this is a small taster here, but we're going to be showing volume of messages that are sent, channels, information on trends over time, increases and decreases, as well as engagement from your staff, so you can see who and how they're interacting, what messages are being sent in what groups, and really understand what's kind of happening on the ground within the hotel. So you not only have a great tool to use, but also can analyze how it's being used, how guests are engaging with it, and see the interactions there. And then lastly, we have some improvements to our mobile app. So we have we've launched already in the springtime our mobile app, and we really encourage everyone to go and check it out in your Apple or Android stores and download it and sign in with the same login that you use on your desktop, and you'll be able to access all the products that you have access to. So we're really excited about this. I think it makes it a lot easier if you're running around the property and you want to answer guests' requests on the go using the Live experience, collaborate internally using the Team experience, track completed work, make sure that things get that they're happening as you assign them, and also be notified, get a push notification, in case something changes or in case new surveys, new feedback, new messages are coming in, so you don't have to worry about missing anything if you're not sitting at your computer. We have, of course, our online reputation management tool in the mobile app as well. So really, you get the whole platform, the whole picture. So all in one, easy to use mobile app. So please do check it out and leave a review there. And yep, that's all I wanted to preview today. So thank you so much for joining. Hope to see you again in September. And also, I'll hand it back over to Valerie in case we have more questions at the end. Maybe we do a little bit more Q&A. I'm not sure if there are any more, but thanks everyone for joining today.
Yes, thanks, Rachel. We did have another question come in, and I think it's worth reviewing. Maybe we didn't get into detail in the demo specifically, but it's about competitors. So it's how many competitors can we have in TrustYou, and can we explain a little bit more around the competitors? So Vanessa, are you comfortable with me passing it back over to you? Maybe you clicking into the competitors section?
Yeah, I think actually this one can be verbally explained pretty well. So with competitors, we now have, you can have 6 competitors. So generally, you know your competitors, but from a perspective of looking at, the data on that, it's usually geographically who around you is your competitor, but also the caliber in which the hotel you're comparing yourself to. Maybe it's based on amenities, maybe it's based on price. So you'll pick your 6 closest competitors, and the data that you saw on the dashboard, so that performance score, anything to do with reviews, response rate, sentiment analysis, you can also compare yourself to your competitors in those capacities as well. So once you set those up, that data will aggregate. You're able to create some custom tiles based on that data, view the data for the group collectively, but also each property individually as well. So it gives you a good look at, again, if maybe you're keeping your eye on maybe one more than another, but just comparing your property to your average of your competitive set as well.
Great, thanks so much. All right, so again, more specific questions. I will be downloading the questions after the session, and we'll have our key account managers or service team members reach out to you for personalized questions. So thank you for submitting those. You can continue to do those for the next couple of minutes while we wrap up today's session. But for those of you on the line that kind of need to get back to your day, or maybe you're ending your day, I just want to thank you all so much again for joining us. We will have the slides and the recording sent out to all registrants by the end of the day tomorrow. So you'll receive that via email, but again, if you don't receive it, please reach out to us and we can send it over so that you can share that with any of your colleagues or rewatch any sections that you might have missed. And so without further ado, we have picked one winner for the raffle of the $50 gift card. So the lucky winner today is Ula Hoffman. So congratulations, we'll contact you soon to get your details and to send you over that gift card. So thank you so much for joining us, Ula. And lastly, before we log off, as you're exiting today's session, there is going to be a survey asking for feedback about today's webinar. It should take you less than 2 minutes to complete. And in the spirit of communication and feedback, obviously it's something that we very much believe in. We really want to hear from you and hear how we can improve future sessions that we have and what other details we can provide to you as your TrustYou vendor. So please reach out to us via that survey or complete it at the end when it pops up, and we will see you next time. Thanks, everyone.